Former Jacksonville K9 officer has entered a not guilty plea for multiple counts against him, including capital sexual battery for sex crimes against children. We're talking about 67-year-old James Trejbal. Retired in 1999 from JSO, the alleged crimes date back to 1984. So on your sides, Nick Perot was in court today. He faces more than one count, and they're very, very serious.
Well, Lou, that is right. In addition to those two capital sexual battery charges, James Trejbal faces multiple lewd and lascivious counts involving a child less than 12.
Do we have two counts, Your Honor?
Shortly after entering the courtroom, the 67-year-old former K9 officer put his head to the floor and kept it there.
We are entering a plea of not guilty to all counts as charged.
Trejbal faces two capital sexual battery charges, 11 counts of molestation against a child under 12, and 4 more against another victim between 12 and 15 years old. According to police reports, Trejbal engaged in sexual acts when one child was just 8 years old and continued until 10. Most details redacted, but in one report, Trejbal told the victim, quote, not to tell anyone and that those are their secrets. Police were made aware of the alleged incidents on December 27th. The department believes all victims have been identified. First Coast News crime and safety analyst Mark Bachman weighed in on what may have led police to get Trejbal to turn himself in.
Perhaps they've interviewed these victims. They may have used him proactively to engage in some controlled telephone calls or maybe face-to-face recordings.
In 1992, investigators found evidence that the then officer participated in unbecoming conduct and received formal counseling for improper action in 1994. Trejbal is due back in court February 27th. We're outside Duval County Courthouse. Nick Perot, First Coast News, on your side.